Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you to my colleague, Mr. McGovern, for yielding me the time. I rise today in defense of Planned Parenthood, an organization that for nearly 100 years has been the only accessible and affordable health care for millions of Americans, men and women. And yet again, we find ourselves debating a bill that has no chance of becoming law, which attacks women and their health care decisions and distracts from what we should be doing, a budget to keep the government funded, which the majority shows no interest in moving forward. Instead, we are rehashing old bills that we have seen many times before. These Republican broadsides fly in the face of the millions of women across the country and undermine the health and well-being of poor and rural women who in most cases have no place else to turn except Planned Parenthood for basic medical treatment. Need I remind the Chamber that 1 in 5 American women has relied on Planned Parenthood Health Center for care in her lifetime? As my colleague said, more than 90% of which is for preventive care, cervical cancer screenings, breast cancer screenings, and even HIV counseling. There is no other medical procedure so furiously. Do we spend years here debating whether men can get vasectomies during their reproductive years? Maybe we should do that because obviously we have cloaked ourselves in the medical field so that we can make those priceless decisions that people should make for themselves. Do we threaten to shut down the government over access to Viagra? No, we don't. Now, this week, I received an email from a local Planned Parenthood affiliate about a woman, and when she was 19 years old, went to Planned Parenthood to get a prescription for birth control. And during a routine screening, the doctor found a cluster of abnormal cells that could have turned into life-threatening cancer. And the woman wrote, quote, "Early detection and treatment allowed me later in life to have a healthy baby who is the light of my life. Planned Parenthood is the provider I know and trust. Why should politicians tell anyone where they can and cannot go for care? Planned Parenthood was there for me when I needed affordable quality health care, and I don't know what I'd have done without their services," end quote. That's what's at stake. In spite of these pleas, the Republicans continue their obsession with attacking women's health. I would think by now they would know better, and co-opting the most personal decisions of a woman's lifetime. Legislators across the country, including this one, waste valuable time pretending to be doctors instead of doing their jobs. Legislators do not spontaneously become medical professions upon their elections. These constitutionally protected decisions are for women with the advice of their doctors, their family, anyone she wants to consult, if it's her priest or rabbi or pastor. But as I had to say to a young man once facing some pretty awful decisions, as he waits to find out what decision would be made, I wouldn't want him to have to say, "May I have 30 seconds more," or even less.
I yield the gentlelady 3 seconds.
When terrible decisions are to be made between medical personnel and the patient, I don't want anybody to have to say, "I have to wait till Louise gets here," because Congress has the last word in whether we live